Hey everyone, it's Griff of the Four Horsemen bringing today my hero deck profile. I actually meant to bring this to you earlier, but stuff happened, so I couldn't. But anyway, this is probably one of my favorite decks next to Synchrons and Chaos Dragons. I've always loved heroes, and today I'll be showing you my different choices, card choices, and how the deck works. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting us off with the deck. First off, we run 3 Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. This is your heart and soul of the deck, essentially. When she's special summoned, you get to add a change quick play spell card from your deck to your hand. So she's really good for searching out your Mass Change or Mass Change second if you prefer to run that. Also in another turn where she's sent from the field to the graveyard, she gets to add a hero from your deck to your hand. So really good search power and just overall good card. So you always want to run 3. Next up, 2 Bubble Man. I run 2 because I personally like the card. I know some people run like just 1 or not even running none of him. But I think he warrants running at minimum 1 because he's a good top deck if you have literally nothing. So if you're just losing, you'll be able to draw cards. He can express himself from the hand, which is good for XYZ plays or Link Summon plays. Also, he has the best fusions, in my opinion, next to Darklaw out of all the heroes. So yeah, I run 2 of him, but you can run 1 or none of them if you wish. I just personally like it. So 2 Bubble Man. Next up, 1 Blaze Man. You run 1 of him because, well, Vision Hero is Vion is arguably the better card, but you can't search him as easily as Blaze Man. So I actually cut down Vion from 2 to 1 to include Blaze Man here. He basically functions as a semi-weaker Vion, but he still works. Also, you can search him, so he's good for that, and good for searching out Poly, or sending Shadow Mist to the grave, or sending Malicious to the grave to turn him into a Dark for Darklaw. So he's really good. I like him, and yeah, so 1 Blaze Man. Next up, for the last of the level 4s heroes, you run 1 Vion. So as I said previously, I was originally running 2 of him because he's a really good card, able to send a hero from the deck to the grave, and then in that same turn allowing you to banish a hero to search out Poly. The only issue with this card is he is not an elemental hero. He is a vision hero, so you can't add him with E-Call, you can't summon him with a hero lives. So if he was an elemental hero, I would instantly be playing at least 2 of him, but for now just 1 because of that 1 restriction. And then for the last of the elemental heroes, we run 2 Honest Neos. It is perfectly fine for you to run 3 if you wish. I only run 2 of them because I feel it can clog at 3, and so yeah, just an overall amazing card, just searchable Honest, which is fantastic. He boosts your heroes. If he happens to be on the field, he's 25 beat sticks that can increase his attack. So yeah, really good card. You definitely want to run him at least 2, if not 3. And then for the last heroes, we run 3 Malicious. You run 3 of him for Link plays. That's essentially what you use. You use him for Isolde. If you run Deco Talker, you use him for that. And he's a Mass Change target for Darklaw and Anki, so yeah, really good card. He can brick if you draw him, but you have multiple ways of sending him to the grave, so that the drawing him isn't that bad. But he can still hurt on being drawn. And unfortunately, you can't really run this card at less than 3 of, because then it doesn't really work. So 3 Malicious. Next up, 3 Goblin Bird. This is going to be Solid Man when we get Solid Man, because Solid Man is easily the better card. However, we don't have Solid Man yet, and I don't think the OCG even has him yet. So for now, we run the 3 Goblin Bird. It's good for what it does. It summons Shadow Mist from the hand, which is really good. and you can use it as link fodder for your Isolde or for link, XYZ summons. So good card, definitely will be taken immediately when we get Solid Man. And then for the last monsters, we run 3 Summoner Monk. You have so many spells in this deck that you can... He is basically almost always live, so he is great for going first, and even if you draw him later on in the duel, he's still good, because you can pitch a Hero Libs, which is better than actually activating Hero Libs, because you don't have to pay the life points, and you always want to run 3 of them, so you have 3 Summoner Monk. That's it for the monsters. Now on to the spells. We run 3 Mass Change. There's not that much to say about this card. You run 3, you always want to run 3 because getting out Dark Law and your Acid and your Anki is amazing. So yeah, 3 Mass Change. Next up, a Hero Lives. Probably the most double-edged sword-like card in this deck because its effect is so good, but that life point cost is really can sometimes hinder you, especially if you don't have a Summoner Monk. But you still run 3 of this thing because you want to see it as often as possible because you can get your Shadow Mist, you can get your Mass Change, and then you can get your Honest Neos later on with Mist Effect. So you always want to run 3, but you also tend to want to use this thing as Summoner Monk effect instead of actually using it, but you still run 3. Next up, 3 E Emergency Call and 1 Rhoda. Basically, E Emergency Call, you run 3 of them because Reinforcement of the Army is at 1. If Reinforcement of the Army was at 1, you would run 3 Reinforcement and 1 E Call. Or 3 and 2. But, so yeah. E Emergency Call, just a generic searcher for your deck. Amazing card, Reinforcement Army, even better card for your deck. And yeah, not much to say about these. And then a personal tech card of mine, Destiny Draw. This is for when you get your Malicious in your hand and you don't want to use it. So this is a quick way to get your Destiny or Malicious into the grave and you draw cards, so I mean that's always a plus. I was originally running this at 2, but I decided to cut it down to 1 because you don't want to see like more than 1 of this card, because you typically are not having the rest of your Malicious in your deck to warrant the second card. So you only want to run 1 of this card. You can run 2 if you wish. I just prefer at 1 because it can brick. Next up, 1 Mass Charge. So this card you don't have to run. I personally like running it because it allows you to further recover if your field is wiped or if you just lose your cards. It allows you to recycle your fusions or any hero and add a Mass Change back to your hand. I like running it. You don't have to run this if you don't want to. Next up, 2 Miracle Fusions and 1 Poly. I have always been a fan of Miracle Fusion. I think it's the best top deck card. Probably equal to Bowman, if not better, for this deck. And Polymerization, because you have Searchers for it, so you don't need to run more than 1. And because I run the Omni Heroes, because I still think they're good, because they give you plays other than just Dark Law to allow you to have field presence in case you get rid of Dark Law. But you can definitely run 1 Miracle Fusion if you wish. I prefer 2 because I want to see it in my hand. But yeah, so that's it for those. Next up, 2 Cosmic Cyclone for back removal. This can be a Twin Twister or an MST if you wish. It really does not matter. I just use Cosmic Cyclone because banishing stuff is always better than destroying it. So 2 Cosmic Cyclones. 1 Monster Reborn because it's Monster Reborn. I actually took out the Call the Haunteds from this deck and put Monster Reborn and Soul Charge in because they're better than Call the Haunted. I am so excited this is back because this helps this deck a lot. I hope it doesn't get banned, but probably will again. So 1 Monster Reborn while we still can. And for the last spell, 1 Soul Charge as previously mentioned. Spells summoning monsters from the grave is better than traps summoning from the grave all the time. This card, you don't care about your battle phase as much, so that effect doesn't matter. The main effect that will probably come back to haunt you is the life point cost, because you have so many cards in here that you have to pay life points, so you have to be careful. But, I mean, if your opponent's dead, doesn't matter how many life points you have, so yeah. Definitely want to run one soul charge. That's it for the spells. Onto the traps. I run 2 bombless. These could probably be whatever you want them to be. I run 2 of these for Rafflesia because I believe since this came back to 3, Rafflesia is a good card in this deck now, again. But these can probably be just whatever you want them to be. I just run bombless for Rafflesia, and because just drawing is so good. So yeah. Next up, my form of the Solemn Brigade. 1 Judgment, 1 Strike, and 1 Warning. You can take out the bombless for 2 more strikes if you wish. I don't have 2 more strikes, so I only run 1 Solemn Strike. Judgment Darklaw is hilarious. So yeah, you want to run 1 Judgment and 1 Warning because it's Warning. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. So starting us off, you run 2 Darklaw. Overall, just an amazing card. You can almost always get this card out about 9 out of 10 games going first, and even going second, it's still good. Just overall card, your opponent has no graveyard. He can send cards from their hand to be banished. Overall, amazing card. However, you don't want to run 3 because you do not need 3. Okay, 2 Darklaw. 1 Anki because it can pull off some pretty cool plays. You can do OTKs with him. He can search out Mass Change, which is good, and he can attack directly if you need to, like, just end your opponent then. So yeah, good card. I don't go into him that often, but he does have situations where he's good. So 1 Anki. Then 1 Acid for back row. I love this card. This card is amazing. This is one of the reasons why you run Bowman, because he can just wipe all your opponent's back row, which is really good. So yeah, definitely 1 Acid. That's all for the mass chain. That's all for the mass heroes. I do not run Koga because the only target you have from him is Honest Neos, and you almost never actually summon Neos, so Koga isn't that good. So that's it for the mass heroes. On to the hero fusions. Absolute Zero, my personal favorite hero of all time. I love this card. Some people may not like running it still. They think it might be power creep. I still run this because just wiping your opponent's board whenever he leaves the field is amazing. Also, there is a great board wipe that I can show off real quick. So, what you do is you summon Absolute Zero. Then, if you have a mass change, you mass change Absolute Zero to summon Acid. What this will do is Absolute Zero's effect will activate, wiping all your opponent's monsters off the field. And then Acid will activate, wiping all their back row. So you've completely wiped their board clean of all field presence, which is amazing. And he's also the easiest hero fusion to summon because he just requires a hero and a water monster instead of elemental hero. So yeah, definitely 1 Absolute Zero if you're running the Miracle Fusions and Polymerization because he's amazing. Next up, 1 Elemental Hero Shining. That's my dog barking. 1 Elemental Hero Shining because with Honest Neos in the deck now, you can summon him with Miracle Fusion. He's good for what he does. He's a giant beat stick because you can banish a lot of heroes. And also, when he leaves the field for like a Link summon or if he's destroyed by battle, you can recover elemental heroes from your banish zone. So that's really good. I like him. You can probably cut him if you want, but he does have his uses. And then the last one, Vision Hero Adoration. He is probably the one you can cut the most. I'm just testing him because he can work with, he just requires 2 heroes to summon. So that can be a Malicious and Honest Neos, that can be a Vion and something else. I mainly run him because the Vision Hero Vion and the Destiny Hero Malicious do not count as targets for the other 2. So he is there for if you have them in your hand and you want to get rid of them. So yeah. One Adoration and he can't if you want, but you can cut him if you wish. That's it for the fusions. Onto the Xyz monsters. 1 Castel, because it's spot removal, and Castel's the best one for that. 1 number 41 Baguska, because He is that card you go into when you don't have any other place to go into. He can stall for time, allow you to try and hope to get some stuff to help you out. In defense mode, if he's in attack mode, he's just a good attack card. They can't target him. So one Baguska, because he's that card you go into when you have nothing else you can go into. One Rafflesia for Bottomless Trap Hole. I like this card. I've always liked this card. She's good for what she does, because getting her and Darklaw on the field is still a good play. You can cut her if you want, but I like her because activating a Bombless from the deck is a lot better than activating from the field. So yeah, Rafflesia. Next is a personal tech card of mine, Steelswarm Roach. This you can cut if you wish for something else. Like if Emerald was still around, I would probably cut this for Emerald. I like this card because, at least for where I play Yu-Gi-Oh!, a lot of people I know use high-level monster decks, and he is amazing for that. Getting him and a Darklaw on the field, plus some back row, is hilarious, because they can't really do anything. So, yeah, he's just really good. You can probably side deck him if you want to run him. He would probably be better as a side deck card, depending on the format. But I think even the meta, he's still good because he can help against True Draco. He can help against Infernoid, probably Lightsworn if they're running Judgment Dragon, and definitely can help against Vendreads, even though you don't really need a whole lot to help against them. So I like him. He is definitely a personal choice. So yeah, one Steelswarm Roach. Next up, the Utopia combo, because lightning is lightning. You hardly ever actually summon Utopia, just regular Utopia. There are probably instances when regular Utopia is probably useful. They aren't many, but it's still there. Lightning, you are going to summon rather than Utopia about 99.9% of times, except for that 1% where just having a regular Utopia is useful. But yeah, you run one of him and one of him. And you can run Utopia Ray or something like that if you wish. I don't, but that's personal choice. And the next two cards, the last two, Isolde, Two Tails of the Noble Knights. I had to proxy these because I do not have them on hand. They are arriving in the mail sometime. I don't know when, but they'll be at some point in the future. So these two are going to be proxied for now until I get my hands on them. You can run a Deco Talker in here if you want. It actually probably would help, or a Summon Sorceress if we get that, if we don't already have it. I used to run Deco Talker in here, but I cut it because I didn't go into a whole lot, but it would probably be good for some of you guys if you want to run a Deco Talker, because it'll allow you to open up another zone. But I've found that just the Two Tails of the Noble Knights work fine. Unless you're running Bahamut Shark and totally awesome, then you probably want the Deco Talker. But for what my deck is built around, you don't need the Deco Talker, so I just only run these two. And that is it, guys. That is my hero deck. Overall, I love this deck. It's amazing. Now it's a little bit hard to use with links, but you can still work with it. Isolde really helped with this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions or any cards you like that you might think I would like to test, drop a like, because they really do help the channel, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment for anything you want. So I've been Griff of the Four Horsemen, and I shall see you guys later.